Okay. I'm just gonna... Alright, so... yeah. People start rolling in, I'll start going for serious. For right now, I'm gonna do what I always do before a show, which is play Genshin Impact and not care. I'm in pain tonight. For the 4 people who watch this, thank you. I can give you commentary of what I'm doing without actually doing the thing. I don't feel like streaming it tonight. I told you, I really don't feel good. My stupid spine. Spine sucks. It's like, spines are good. I'm pro spine, if that's what this conversation's going to be reduced to, but I'm not pro my spine. My spine is a piece of crap.
Your spine?
Yeah.
Is that like the new social network? My Spine?
Yeah. It's where you can go check out sweet x-ray pictures of spines, and that's the rule for your avatar. So weirdos can jerk off to it.
The weirder the better.
The weirder the better. I'm gonna shut some programs down too. How do I sound? Do I sound alright?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Alright, I haven't been on the headset in a while, so. I'm just slathered up in goop for my back. Get an ice pack on. So, yeah. No, the Alex Jones thing, man, you're gonna love it. I got this bit all cooked up.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I'm basically just gonna translate the Alex Jones bit into like normal people English. Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh man, I don't know. This is where I kind of wish you played Genshin, because I know like Friday nights we could just stream Genshin together, but then like I also know that you would just be out of a house from busting out wishes like crazy. You'd be like, I have a C6 of every character that's possibly offered. Jake, how much that fucking cost you? I don't want to talk about it. Can't have a place to sleep.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like I'd rather, with games like that I'll get super addicted to, I'd rather pay like $50 or $60 up front.
Yeah.
And just have everything. Or at least access to everything.
Yeah. No, that's what I said. I know, because like it's like we have the same consumptive affliction, but yours is a little bit worse than mine. So like don't worry. I've ran up a credit card, so I know. I know
how to give me some credit card debt.
Yeah, I know how to get it real fast. Kind of an expert myself. Dude, it is cool though. I still, you know what though? I still can't get Mona or Kaching. Which also, Kaching, the worst possible name for a character in this game. Like, you're really giving up the ghost, right?
Right.
Like, this is the new hot girl character, money suck.
The new hot girl character, give us dollars, please. It's a French name.
Give us dollars, please. She's from the city of payment. Yeah, come on, you know what you're doing.
Testing, 1, 2.
Ooh, it's Spicy Boy himself.
What's up?
Spicy Boy.
Spicy Boy.
World's
What are you guys doing?
He is the world's spiciest boy. Oh, I'm playing Genshin. My back hurts.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to run bits.
I'm playing Pokemon because it just dropped.
Sweet.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh shit, that was today. I gotta go pick that up tomorrow. That's alright. They'll hold it for a day.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I was in too much
Not like
pain.
global shortages of everything right now or anything.
You know what's cool? The audience can hear this.
They know about it.
Yeah, they can hear it. No, they can hear it in my earphones. I gotta shut that off before we get a content ban. I'm trying to shut some stuff off.
But I've always been too busy to disturb you.
Oh yeah, this is the part of the quest where Noelle wants to say that she wants to have a course unfun sex with you. Did you? Let me ask
Forced
you this.
and unfun. Normally, I have to pay for something that complicated.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the places where the English VO, the actress understood that Noelle was supposed to be a psychopath and not normal. Like, they really succeed there. Yeah.
Yes,
What do you want me to? Anything? Tell me what to do. I'll do anything. Just just an insane person.
Just a woman.
Really,
Just
it does. I had to play it for a while to get all the pieces of, dialogue and like environmental stuff. But yeah, Mondstadt is they're doing it up.
Oh, they're the libertarians.
Right.
They're how they see us.
There's just a bunch of notes everywhere that say that everybody's too drunk to like be doing whatever.
Chat, I now have you up where I can see you. Genshin's I find it to be absolutely worth it, but you have to understand I have a gambling problem. I'm gonna try to respond to you, chat. I'm gonna do my best.
Oh no, localization's a weird game, right? I mean, like,
yeah, it's real hit or miss in the localization.
Yeah, like I find like there's a lot of charming stuff there. I may even have already said this on the show. I don't remember, but there's that Sneznayan rhyme about chopping your pinky off and throwing it on a frozen lake.
Yes.
Yeah. That rhymes in English, so that was probably the English localization team, right?
Yes.
Like, there's some good stuff in there, man. Like, it's a game I can play in the living room. And it also has, I think, some hard-hitting content. I'm continually shocked and amazed.
Some of it's so good. Some of it is anime cheese, and some of it is like, yeah, I actually kind of like that.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of a perfect level. Like, I was never more back into metal than I was when they played the first couple seasons of Metalocalypse on Adult Swim.
Yeah, like everybody. That was the purpose.
Like, it's supposed to be a parody, like it's over the top or something, but it still qualifies. I mean, off the top of my head, particularly Thunder Horse qualifies as some of my favorite ever serious metal because it is so dumb and cheesy.
Yeah, Thunder Horse is badass.
I mean, it on paper it looks like it would just be over the top and silly, but it fucking owns.
Okay. Alright, here we go. I think I got it, because I'm trying to unlock the other quest chain for Noelle so I can get all the... I'm trying to, like, before the 24th, I'm trying to get all the fucking Prima Gems.
I'm trying to hit up, like, hangout endings.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What is this? This better be a new goddamn ending. New goddamn path. I've only got Bennett on alternate, so...
They're fine, but I feel like I'll probably play almost all the other content before I start rounding up. Hangout endings.
I have like 9 quests in Inazuma to do that I have to track down, and one of them only comes from like a certain daily, and I was like,
oh Jesus Christ!
Oh, it's like Victor and Mondstadt. I didn't get Victor until I was AR 55, which is basically the end of the game, because they said if you like, somebody did the math, it takes like 1 million adventure experience to get to like 60, right? It goes from like 30,000 a level to 230,000, and on my main, yeah. So I was like, okay, so AR 55 is basically the end. Like,
it sounds like it.
I've been at it for like a month, and I've got 78,000 adventure experience on main. So I was like, that's not gonna happen.
Huh.
Yeah,
that really makes you wonder.
Well, somebody did it. I mean, there was like an obsessive streamer who did it, but it's like...
Oh, right. But I mean, like in the old days, it would have just been a hard cap, right? But they decided instead to just be like, no, don't explicitly say that they're not leveling up towards 56.
Yeah.
No, like later when we, release content, we'll be like, oh, now it takes this or whatever.
Well, they're not
You
gonna do
know?
that. They're just not gonna. It's like how the Adventurer's Handbook like gets to book 11, and you're like, where's the next book? No, those rewards are done, and then once you actually get to AR-60, that's done. But
Yeah.
there's still like, I also have not gone fishing because I kind of like hate fishing.
Yeah, it's not it should be a little different, I think, if it was supposed to be like a fun distraction or whatever, but like the main obnoxious thing about it is just the high ass counts
Yes.
on fish to turn in.
Yeah.
Like you just look at that like 20 venom spine fish or whatever and you're just like, god damn.
Yeah. Fuck this.
All right. Like usually you're so invested in a character before you round up 20 or 30 of anything that you're like, I don't give a fuck. Give me them Valberries.
Yeah, give me
Needs
those.
them Valberries.
Oh man, I need them for Big Titty Rosaria and Weird Titty Noel. Come on, let's go.
Right.
Weird titty.
And you
Armor
find a
titty.
lot of fun stuff. You find a lot of fun stuff when you're looking for them Valberries. But the fishing spots, once you find one, you mark it. So you're really just going back to the same. I don't know. Like the fishing could have been more badass.
Well, they're gonna. I mean, you figure like when they add the chasm, when they add Sumeru.
Yeah.
I will say this, chat. Like, if you're like, is it worth it? It's a free-to-play game that like they give you six. They basically give you 6 characters, and they give you enough wishes to get to easily 7 or 8 characters, including all of the elements. And so like you can get all the little elemental reactions. And like if you were entirely free to play, you could probably rack up easy like 12 characters. Not necessarily like not all of the ones you want. Not necessarily all the ones you want, but you'll get them. Okay.
I mean, we've entered an era where the free-to-play model that we all used to kind of make fun of, or deride for various reasons. Well, it not only the standard, but it now we're finally answering that question. Yes, like that question they've been asking this whole time of like, would you give me money for this game? You decide whenever. Like there are more games in my library today than ever where I'm like, no, I did eventually answer that question. Yes.
Yeah.
No, the thing they provided, I did eventually. Like.
Yeah.
It's starting to seem normal. And again, there are many reasons that's bad, but
honestly, like, okay, like let's talk. Like I talked to a guy at work about pricing. He was like, no, I never do that. And I'm like, like to be fair, like when you make magic card proxies, like you're making like high ultra fakes of Seachrome Coast. So like, first off, like.
I mean, like the thing.
It's like a $2 land, and you're making like a $5 proxy of it. Like
the thing, just like all these other server-side games, like going all the way back to like early big MMOs, the thing doesn't even physically exist to begin with.
Right.
Like.
Oh yeah. Well, like, okay, so if we let's compare it to like the most classic MMO, which I think is probably going to be Warcraft, right?
Yes.
Like, undoubtedly, the king of the original MMOs came out when I was in high school. It's like a 20-year-old fucking game. They're still pushing it. Shit, they're trying to re-release it with better graphics.
They re-released the original, right?
Yeah. Like, within the past 5 years with better graphics.
I think most importantly, emerging from a crowded field of like fantasy universes, incredibly generic and tasteless, right? It's incredibly generic and bland.
Listen, I was a fan of the Frozen Throne, my friend, so I don't want to say quite that. I actually did. I got a kick out of Warcraft, but the movie, I was like, this is pure cheese. I didn't play World of Warcraft. I'm not a World of Warcraft guy. But if we were to compare like the pricing model, chat, stop me if I'm wrong. But we're talking, we're talking a $60 game out of the box. I think now it's $20, right? Genshin is $0. Okay.
Yeah.
So $0 out the box, $0. So then if we're talking monthly fees, right? The World of Warcraft has about 4 yearly expansions, each at $20, or are they at 60?
Well, I feel like that when I used to work at the store, like guys would come in and they would get like a super dope version of the expansion that was like way more. I'm sure they still do that now. I'm sure you can still get a big physical loot box of all kinds of horse shit every time one comes out, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but like, okay, so they would do like 4 yearly expansions until they just like stopped, right?
Right.
Okay, so that was an extra 80 a year for how many years? What is that like? The Burning Crusade was relatively in the World of Warcraft time span. That was what, like 3 years in, less than that, something like that. Like I said, I don't follow it directly, but the point is like that's $140 up front, right? Whereas Genshin, that's still free.
Yeah.
You can still get, like I said, there's 6 characters guaranteed, and then all the free wishes you get within the game will like very quickly net you, if not another 5-star, at least a couple of 4 stars, and it'll advance one of your 5 stars, right?
Put
And
Inazuma right on there for free. Didn't act like,
oh yeah,
well, this is a content expansion or anything.
oh well, they are they're definitely honest that it's a content expansion, but like, you know, because the original map was just Mondstadt. I wouldn't know. I played Neverwinter, which is pay to win. Okay, so Genshin definitely Genshin on I'm a huge spender because my dad pays all my bills mode
Yeah.
is definitely like a pay to win game. Like when you see streamers like be like, I pulled this 5-star and then I got it to C6.
Right, have a C6 like Koyukomi or whatever.
Yeah, Kokomi Sengonomiya, who like number 1 she sucks. Barbara's free. Number 2, number 2 like anywho, like the character just blows. But yeah.
But that's the exact segment of the player base where they
We're-
should be doing the bulk of the financial work, right?
Yeah.
You're the asshole that wants to sit around and play this fucker on Twitch all the time. Pony up. Pay
Well-
for everybody else's ride.
What it basically boils down to is like, look, you're going to extract all this wealth from other people for us, so it'll work just fine.
Yeah. Right.
What's going on, hon? Oh, I'm sorry. My wife has stepped up. What's up, babe? What's that? You alright? Alright. I love you. Okay, so yeah, WoW is like essentially a commitment to pay the $60 up front plus another $140 continuing. And then on top of that, WoW had what, like was it $5 or $10 for the monthly fee?
It was like a $5 monthly it fluctuated.
It was a $5 monthly fee. So if we were to translate that to Genshin terms, Genshin has an absolutely free-to-play mode where if you just grind enough and save and get really like picky and choosy.
Do dailies.
From my perspective, it sounded like talking to your waifu. Yeah, I was talking to my wife. I'm a 30-year-old man. I don't really have a waifu per se, but yeah, it was my wife. Yeah. I was absolutely talking off mic. Like I told you, my back hurts. I'm not.
We're not participating today, apparently.
We're being uber chill today.
It's the chill stream.
No,
Good chill stream.
Let's be fair. Anime waifu, Aikasumaragi. Video game waifu, not single player, no co-op, Tifa Lockhart. If we're talking Genshin Impact, definitely the Raiden Shogun. That's her name, EIA. Definitely the Raiden Shogun. Rosario was it, and then the Raiden Shogun showed up and just, blew her away.
You know what they really, and this is
Yes,
just,
I want the cold Japanese. I want the cold, sexless Japanese woman. I want her to be an incredibly hot Japanese woman who cannot even fathom having sex.
But you know what they all really resemble underneath the the more unique elements of the character design is they remind me a lot, and this is kind of a background thing of always being kind of a collectibles nerd.
Yeah.
And growing up in a family that had a lot of this shit. But they remind me of 10-inch fashion dolls.
Yeah.
Specifically Western 10-inch fashion dolls. Like, they're designed in that same fashion where they're all around the same proportion, and you can tell that the costumes are different really easily, even though the costumes are not complicated. Like,
It depends on the costume. Diluc's costume is fucking super complicated. Raiden's is super complicated.
I guess
Rosaria is
accessory wise, they get out there sometimes. Yeah.
yeah. Rosaria's is funny because hers is slutty Catholic nun.
Yes, which is
Like
like apparently
weird.
a thing to some guy that designed this game. Like he devised a slutty Catholic nun who is obsessed with labor hours, apparently.
Yes, very obsessed with labor rights.
But like they are in the church,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
In the Catholic Church that exists in anarchist libertarian European land. I mean, I love important media. I always have. I always will. But I'm like so used to Japanese stuff. The Chinese stuff is refreshing, and it reminds me of
It's
how funny and weird the Chinese movies I used to watch are.
yeah. In some ways, Genshin is like well beyond us in terms of observation. Like I personally like I could go on about this game all night, and first I need to tell you that this is a Sons of Trier live stream. I'm Dan Cohen. I'm joined by Jank Engels,
Go.
and I'm joined by the True Horror.
Hey, what's up? What's
All
going
right.
on?
All right, cool.
One
Now,
of us doesn't know anything about Genshin Impact.
hey, you're learning vicariously, Mona fan.
He might get out of it. He might get out of it. You never know.
Okay, if I'm
Sometimes
gonna
you
be
get out of them.
if I'm gonna be really fair, my first Genshin love was Big Titty Lisa. Then it was Big
Yeah.
Titty Rosaria, and now it's Big Titty Sexless Raiden Shogun.
Because that's the free-to-play character, and the first thing that they do is give you a character that's obviously just an
Absolutely.
over-the-top parody of sexy anime lady.
Yeah,
There you go.
sexy anime librarian, and she's bi, 'cause she hits
Yeah.
on both travelers equally. And she's like, you could definitely tell if she's from Mondstadt because she's like, no, the age of consent is 16, and it's a hard 16.
Yeah, and the
Like,
offer is always
15,
like a.
Get out. 16? How about you be
There's
my
no-
little slave?
There's no pressure in any of the dialogue. It's always just like this. Let's go lay around somewhere and have just a bacchanal. Like that's the dialogue. Like they're just so totally. Whoever localized it really got the joke.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just so over the top. But I can see how, in the current climate, I can see how like people are like, what's the need for this, or like this is so bizarre. And there are some bizarre elements to the character design, but not any worse than okay. Right now, there's people out there flipping out that they couldn't do live action Ed right for the Cowboy Bebop movie. Okay,
Yeah. They are
Like-
going berserk.
I'm not surprised to hear that, and I'm not that hurt or elated either way.
They were absolutely like the first thing they did was take like they were just like, how can we identity?
Yes,
And it was like
I mean,
the-
import stuff is
it's-
weird, man. Like
it's
the original
literally-
cool thing.
okay, we'll go down this rabbit hole real quick before we talk about the thing I actually want to talk about with Genshin. But it's clearly two Chinese cis, right? One
Yeah.
Chinese NB, and then a black guy. That's all you
Yeah.
needed. Where did you
Mhm.
get anybody else in there from? Oh, that's
Mhm.
right, because you were like, oh, you better appease the Title IX lords so that everybody feel. Fuck you! It's you need 3 fucking Asians, including an NB. You pigs weren't satisfied with the potential identity ramifications. Do you think Latinos were gonna be fucking like upset that they weren't involved in Cowboy Bebop when they
Like,
absolutely, like every other anime fan, devoured that fucking show? No. It's like when they put the white girl as fucking the Ghost in the Shell lady, Makoto. And it's like, what are you even doing? This is not a good move for representation. You look like a bunch of jackasses.
Like these are Asian products that were about Asian people.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, it's okay if they're
it
Asian.
would be okay.
It's
It would
enough
be okay if they
identity.
were in it.
It's fine. It would be like if for identity purposes if they change Blackula into a fucking Eskimo. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Draxkimo.
Yeah, Black Eskimo.
Escula.
Escula. Yeah. Oh hell yeah, Cowboy Bebop, love the Latino dub. Yeah, it's not. It's fine. It was fine as it was. If you did a
Yeah.
live action in English with fucking English speaking actors, and you just were like, well, we casted 3 Asians, one of them's an NB. and and a black guy. Like it's literally more diverse than Friends, which was just 6 white people, and like 5 of them happen to be Jews.
Continuing our 2-week.
Oh,
theme.
I'm sorry. I don't want to undersell the Italian. Like, come on. Why are we doing this shit? It's embarrassing.
Continuing our 2-week theme of do not go back under any circumstances and watch an episode of Friends ever.
No, it's what a shitty show. Bunch of garbage.
Do
But-
not do that to yourself.
No, you're asking for your eyes to bleed. But yeah, like it would have been fine. And honestly, my biggest problem was you couldn't find a more masculine fucking actor for Spike Spiegel instead of some fucking guy who looks like he's gonna cry and is in his 50s. Like you couldn't do that. Like, I don't know. Steven Yeun looks like he's not gonna cry. Why couldn't you pick him? Should I watch the
know what
live
they
action and
thought?
be disappointed for clout? You absolutely should.
You know what they thought is they thought we're gonna get any old guy and we're gonna put a fucking Shinichiro Watanabe afro on his head and put him in the fucking suit and then he's gonna be Spike. Right?
He'll be Spike
Right.
Spiegel.
That's what they thought.
Yeah.
We're gonna put that
Watanabe.
fucking hair on him and we're gonna put him in that suit and that's it. Game over. That's it.
I mean, just the
should-
suit alone.
They should have, if they loved Watanabe so much, they should have made the live action Excel Saga. It's
Yeah.
a deep cut. It's a
Oh
deep
man,
cut
wouldn't that rock?
for one guy listening to this like months from now is gonna be like, yeah.
Oh,
It's a deep cut.
dude, I'm telling you, fucking Excel Saga live.
Yeah.
Just
that
you know
would've
what
been
though?
good.
How they identify that one up is they make Lord Il Palazzo like one of the dudes from fucking fucking Sopranos.
Yeah.
It can't be Gandolfini because he's dead as shit. But
What I was thinking about the other day was fucking Gurren Lagann.
yeah.
And then I went back and I watched it and I was like, oh, there's some insensitive part. But it kind of doesn't matter.
Do you mean the 14-year-old girl who looks like a 19-year-old stripper? Do you mean that's the insensitive part?
No,
well,
no, no,
I mean,
that's typical anime shit.
that's in the text.
It's the other stuff.
It's not in the text.
that's-
It's pretty fucking explicit when they say, yeah, Yoko's 14.
That's in the text, you know, you can fix that. You know, they just left that where it could be fixed at any time.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more about the green-haired dude that just has, like, in the English VO, he has, like, this sort of lispy voice.
Oh, the gay dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that dude might be a little, I don't know if he passes the 2021 test, but
No.
that show fucking rules.
There's nothing in anime that should pass the 2021 test. I was forced to watch like an episode of Seven Deadly Sins, and I was like, how many times does the hero molest her?
Many.
Like, so many. And I was like, you have like a 5-year-old who's like allegedly 5,000 years old. Nice try, anime.
What's going on over there? These people need some space. Move
Yeah.
these people to Montana. Get these people to where they don't have to be touching each other all the time. What's
Send
going
them to
on over
space.
there?
Yeah. No, it's
Eva
fucking-
mode activate.
Eva mode.
What's going on?
Oh no,
Japan?
wait.
Not enough
They're just getting more Oedipal. Please run away.
Live action Evangelion with Elon Musk as Shinji. Yeah, super cool. I'm gonna up my synchronization rate, and we're gonna cause the third impact. You know, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna be one massive consciousness, but I'm still gonna own a diamond mine. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, it's fucking Joe Rogan as Lilith. Shirtless Joe Rogan. Fucking nipples. Him in the hot tub sweating like a pig.
Joe Rogan's just all the angels.
Yeah, he's just all
Every angel is just a different Joe Rogan face.
various parts of his body. Dude, that would rock so fucking hard.
This being through.
I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Gave rise to our consciousness and civilization.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised, like, with all the love Evangelion got, I'm like, we're just not gonna acknowledge the, that time that Shinji jerked off on Asuka's coma titties, are we? We're just not gonna
Oh, I
acknowledge
think they
that.
did.
That's over. That's
Yeah.
just not a thing anymore.
I think
Or-
I don't think that was in the remake thing. I can't remember if it was.
I don't know. I need to actually sit down and properly watch that stuff again, not at 5 a.m., but, like,
Well, the new ones, I was ready to be really pissed off, but they were okay. They were a-okay.
Oh yeah, it's great content. It's great content. But
But I was ready to be pissed off though.
yeah. No, but like we're just certainly not going to acknowledge that anymore. We're just not going to. All the anarchists who are like eager to call you a pedophile for being 17 and talking to a 16-year-old, who are like eager to call you like, well, that 17-year-old showing pedophilic tendencies. Like all of
I
those
mean,
ones are like, oh no, Evangelion's good actually.
I mean,
That they
Shinji,
showed
in
that on
that
live
scene,
TV.
in that scene,
Because
Shinji
like,
didn't
look,
violate the NAP
Evangelion
in
is
that
a
scene.
good anime. It's the
Yeah.
people who are like, no, Evangelion doesn't have any problematic things to it.
Well,
Right.
that's the problem
There's
with the.
nothing wrong with it.
Let's not kick it off, but let's all admit there's a problematic idea with the word problematic, and it's largely in the consumerist taste of the beholder,
I mean,
instead of
like,
some objective morality.
to be honest, like in that scene, like Shinji didn't violate the NAP because
Right.
he totally caught that load. He caught that load in his hand.
Yes,
He didn't do vandalism and get it all over the hospital like a fucking animal.
like a pig.
He caught that load in his hand like an
What
evolved.
was he wearing whenever he was a pig?
Yeah. So, all
I
right.
think the best way around it is a show though like that. Like fucking ridiculous clothing show.
A kill.
Yeah, like Kill la Kill. The best way around it is to just be like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, look at this. It's fucking ridiculous, ain't it? Like that's the best way around it. I think FLCL succeeds there.
Yeah, FLCL was amazing. Kill la Kill was fantastic.
FLCL's great.
Yeah.
Succeeds by being horny and weird on purpose.
Yes.
In a big obvious way that doesn't, insult like.
You know what
kind
though?
of the-
Being horny and weird on purpose is how you got on the show.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
there's a merit to it. Like meaning it instead of being an irony bro horny like most of Twitter.
Right.
With a fire hose as a cum up their ass or whatever weird thing they're tweeting today, and then like being like, oh my god, two heterosexuals kissing. This is sick. This is a hate crime. I need you to solve the lamentation configuration while you're pumping me full of liquids so that I shit everywhere while I get skinned
fire
alive by a
hoses now?
Cenobite. Yeah.
I gotta get on Twitter's level.
You have to get so horny to be on Twitter, but then you have to like see like two people being like, we're in love, and have like a little frame of a heart around them, and have to be like, you're literally fucking Adolf Hitler. Like
That it?
yeah, that's all
Why
Twitter is.
haven't I been on Twitter faster?
Yeah.
Like,
Should have gotten
like-
on Twitter way long
I get in
ago.
trouble at work for doing that.
Like they're gonna post like the most like depraved, horrific shit that you've ever seen, and then the
Yeah.
exact next post is gonna be like. But
This is
speaking of
fucking
pegging,
sick.
let's discuss why the term is problematic.
Yeah. And why it should be called shit pounding. And then there's like discourse about shit pounding versus pegging. There'll be like somebody with like an edgy be like, actually it's bioessentialist and we're all boobs now. Because
Look,
we
this
all
is an
love
opportunity.
pegging. And if you
This is
don't
an
like pegging,
opportunity.
guess what? You're Adolf Hitler.
Look, pegging is a term invented by the right wing. This is an opportunity to reclaim the term fudge packing and totally erase the negative connotation that this term has unfairly had for way too long. I think.
Whew. Whew. That's pretty funny. You know
For a
what?
second, I thought you weren't saying anything. Then I was like, "Oh, that's the mic got blowed out."
Yeah, I blew the back walls out of the mic laughing so hard.
Blowing them mic walls out.
Blowing the mic walls out.
That would be the T-shirt that we sell. It's Sons of Trier, blowing them mic walls out.
Blowing the mic walls out. Dude, I'm gonna die from that. That's
Blowing
amazing. That is 10 times better discourse than John's fucking is all humor anti-Semitic. It's Jesus Christ. I gotta tell you, okay, I'm gonna do my end of the humor discourse. First off, all humor is misanthropy because just saying it's anti-Semitic ignores the fact that before there were Jews, they were still like somebody was still rude to disabled people.
Right.
And it's absolutely ableist.
probably much ruder than verbally.
You don't go far enough, and that's because you believe in the inherent supremacy of the Jews, which fuels the anti-Semites.
That's a pretty good response.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I
that's pretty
rule at this
excellent.
shit. I'm so
Pretty excellent.
I'm so good at bad identitarian takes because you have to be like, the first thing you do is like, what would happen if I shut up my brain and I was a jackass? What were the things I would say?
Well, it's still, I mean,
Oh yeah, that's bioessential.
we say this every week, but it's like, it's a thing that we knew would, come apart somehow, but like, I did not have, in my list of things that I would have said would have, I did melt completely down within a year from the, election, just melt completely into particles, and it's to the point where we're just like riffing on it and laughing this hard about it. I never would have said that it gets that funny that fast.
Oh, it
'Cause
fucking
these people are dead ass serious. A handful of them. I mean, there are some trolls mixed in there, but like the big ones that like.
The problem is like the type of comedy they're doing, the type of satire they're doing is so perfect. You can't tell if they mean it or not, and I don't think they know anymore. Like, how could they know?
Certainly not. Like, I mean, people are getting paid. People are getting paid on both sides of the bullshit culture war.
Well, they know. It's whichever one is more convenient at the time.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know how much I like. What I'm worried about, like, we always use that term, like, fucking cringe, right? I'm wondering how fucking cringy their shit truly is and how much they mean of it, right?
I mean, like if I was getting like Charlie Kirk money or Brooklyn Dad money, like I would say whatever. Like at this point.
Oh fuck
like,
yeah.
I would for some period of time. I mean, my God. I mean.
Fuck yeah.
I'm not gonna be like no, or whatever. But I don't know. Some of the right wing shit is too horrible to say. It would be really easy though. God, it would be easy.
Oh yeah. Do you guys want me to do my impression of a fucking right wing stand up comic?
Yeah.
So I was out in the street and there was this black guy playing his fucking music, and it was all hip 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 hip. You know how they fucking play it while they're not having a job. I'm not racist, but they can't stop doing this shit and not having a fucking. I fucking hate him so fucking much. All right, guys, this has been the comedy stylings of Finger Blast, Tudor Scoots, Butterscotch, and he'll be here all week. I fucking hate him. 30% of them commit 50% of the. It just turns into that bullshit. So it's like.
Oh, honey, this is why we come to this bar every weekend. Fucking Tudor Scoots is the best.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
That
Tudor Scoots says what we're all thinking.
That is exactly what the hip hop music of the unemployed sounds like.
That is it.
It fills the streets.
It fills the streets. It fills
As we scurry from our homes in complete fear of our surroundings to our chosen restaurant or other bougie establishment.
Yeah.
And then scurry back home, hearing the terrifying hip hop of the unemployed.
It's just shit, man. So anyway, back to Big Titty Lisa. No. Oh, Jank, I promised you this, man. I promised you. So, like, Jones just, like, did you hear what happened to him?
Vaguely. I heard that he got clapped.
Yeah, his ass got clapped. So he does this video, right? He does this video. It's supposed to be like a man on the street type thing where he's holding the camera, because he's trying to look poor. He's not in his studio. He's well, the global pedophile elite has
they sued me for saying words.
They're suing me for expressing my free speech to say that the children of crisis actors and the bullet wounds weren't real, and all those children are now living on Epstein's Island. So,
thanks for calling.
What I got to call on you fine people to do is donate, because I don't want to hurt my existing revenue streams, and I don't want to give away any money that I've earned from the show. So I need you to shell out a couple more bucks to pay for my legal bills. And if any of the global pedophile elite want to donate to the show to protect their rights to be a member of the global pedophile elite, I would really appreciate it. Perhaps Peter Thiel would like to donate to me so that I can do kind of a whole BuzzFeed thing and Just kind of be owned by you and do whatever sex shit you want. I know it's weird, but I'm kind of hurting here because otherwise I actually have to pay money out of my pocket, and I don't really want to do that. And
It's the only thing that means anything.
yeah, the only thing that means anything really is protecting my revenue stream. I don't want to. I have any kind of situation where my revenue stream is injured or compromised.
It's the only thing in my life that I've succeeded at. Everything else I touch is a complete failure, and
everything else is shit. My marriage has been ruined, and my kids aren't allowed within 50 feet of me because a couple of Megan's Law requirements, and
Apparently, there are consequences to my actions. I guess
the trans women down the road won't let me smell their feet, so Alex is hurting
really
here,
downhill
folks.
from here.
It's all downhill from here.
Consequences for my actions. Apparently not in Wisconsin. Heyo.
Number one, they were gonna do that anyway. Number two,
Oh yeah, all day.
Number two, if you even if you were to crucify that kid for the myriad of crimes he's committed, and I have argued several times that child is not only 100% guilty, but I have my problem with the prosecution is I don't think you prosecuted him right.
No, I don't think you prosecuted him. So here's my thing, right? You're going after the 17-year-old. The way to really get at this, I feel is to just target the people who gave him the firearm and took him there. He's a 17-year-old. He didn't drive himself there. He didn't buy his own firearm.
Yeah.
Right. His mommy drove him to.
Should be you put a firearm in the hands of a 17-year-old and expected him to be an adult.
Yeah.
And legally, he is not.
Yeah, legally, you're responsible for what the child does. But that's one of the things. The only thing I would add to that is I would hold him and the associated culture he was around. I'd absolutely hold him for vigilantism.
Yeah,
he had no right or responsibility for that behavior. He had no right or responsibility to engage in that behavior because he is a child acting as a vigilante.
If that's not a vigilante killing, then how bad does it have to be? How long do we have to wait to say, that was probably a vigilante killing?
If you argue it from there that the deaths and the injuries occurred as the result of the execution of a crime, then you eliminate the need to try him for murder, right? If you're trying him for murder, you're asking it to be a culture war designation. There's self-defense is fucked up in this country as a part of that whole free will bullshit we've already talked about. But if you try him for acting as a vigilante and then all of the killings as additional penalties as part of that, you're hard-pressed to say, no, he wasn't acting as a vigilante. Well, he was literally doing fucking vigilantism.
I mean, the weight of the entire thing was on Chauvin, but weren't we all still a little bit shocked to get Chauvin?
Yeah.
And that's with the weight of the entire thing on you. This kid was gonna walk, man. It sucks or whatever, but I mean,
well, when they decided to try it as murder, it became a game of self-defense instead of establishing that whatever claim he has to self-defense is further evidence he was already engaged in a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a vigilante.
Right. He was acting as a vigilante. He was perpetrating a crime. Ergo, it doesn't matter if he was acting in self-defense. You're not allowed to act in self-defense while you're doing something illegal.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that Gary Ridgway's victims fought back and scratched him, and the fact that he proceeded to then continue strangling them was not an act of self-defense that can be recognized as anything legitimate.
Yeah.
By turning it just into a murder case, you legitimize the claim of self-defense. You open the door, and you did that because you were blinded by the fact that this child had a firearm he shouldn't have had. So, that was a bunch of bullshit. But no, Alex Jones's thing was way fucking cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, Jones, I think, continues to deliver, which is surprising. When you've got that many years in the industry, it typically you refine it down to a Rush style thing.
Right.
Which is predictable, consistent, satisfying, generally on the same topics, circularly kind of week in, week out.
Yeah.
But Jones continued to innovate and experiment because he was forced to.
Man's an auteur.
Let's go. Gay frogs for the win.
Gay frogs for the win, baby.
A massive failure in execution in the way that Rush succeeded in just Rush just walked up to the trout provided to him like a fat little piggy and slurped right out of it. Jones, on the other hand, had to, forge this territory and just alienated, such broad swaths of the traditional media. I mean, Jones really, you got to give the man some credit.
Oh yeah.
As a broadcaster.
Yeah. No.
Gotta...
Dude, my man got presentation skills. Like people, like the young Kirks would be like, he's pretty average. No, that dude is above and beyond. Just an incredible asshole, and like he's so good at being an incredible asshole.
I mean, like
you're
all
jealous.
All the clips where he's so mad and he's like throwing papers everywhere because he's talking about that they're gonna kiss a goblin.
Yeah,
like
the goblins are coming, folks. The goblins are coming to finger my ass.
Where
are you?
Forever.
It's gotta be 1776. We gotta fight them off.
You could
keep the goblins out of my ass.
You could watch the one where he says that Hillary Clinton smells of sulfur. You could watch
that one rules
100 times.
Yeah,
this is
I still do.
Work.
I still do, and I still watch Obama's response because that was Obama's, that was his best work when he was just like,
oh yeah,
fucking national TV, no fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It if things ever settle down, and there's a future, in a history book when they need an example of political cartoons like they have now from the 1700s or whatever, it won't be that. It'll be Alex Jones saying that Hillary Clinton smells of sulfur and he saw a fly buzz on Barack Obama, indicating that he was a walking human corpse.
Yeah.
They'll be like, this is the rhetoric that was happening in the 2015s before the event.
Yeah, before the third impact that I triggered when we went to Mars and we found the Spear of Longinus.
Yeah, that was 2023. Joe rode the rocket ship. Barack Obama told Joe that he didn't have to ride the rocket ship to Mars, but Joe said,
"Yeah, I could have."
Felt he had to do it.
I could have fucked Asuka, but I didn't. I thought it would be inappropriate if I fucked her, so I didn't fuck her.
Joe Biden got to Mars and he sat around like Dr. Manhattan and he thought about things until he ran out of oxygen, and that was when Elon Musk, triggered the third impact with a Grimes concert where we made up and got married. That's the third. Them actually, they're like, I'm going to really kiss her now. It's not pretend. This is real.
Yeah. No,
she's not my beard anymore. I really love her, and that's third impact.
That's when it happens. That's when instrumentality happens. We all become one. Yeah.
That's when Elon Musk experiences true human emotion.
Yeah, it's super cool. I liked it a lot. The kissing. I definitely liked the kissing because, it was super cool. It was a straight thing to do, and I'm a straight guy. I'm not an asexual weirdo. I'm not gay. I'm definitely a straight guy. That's why I did girls.
I'm not the homosexual. I know people say I'm a robosexual and autosexual. They say I have Lightning McQueen from Cars locked up and I do sex things with him. This is not true.
Yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head what he sounds like. I didn't watch the Saturday Night Live. I'm just crutching it off.
It's just a South African dude.
Just a foreign guy accent.
Yeah, it's just a South African dude that hinted German. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, I built this robot truck, and I would use it to drive into the heart of Sile, and I will become, the gifted child of the third impact. Super cool.
It's the Cybertruck, and if you pay extra, you can get a rubber ass that goes on the back of the truck.
Yeah, you can have sex with it. That way you can truly fuse man and machine with your penis. True man-machine interface through the penis, the way we always intended it to be. We're trying to get the neural networks to work properly. That way we can interject the penis.
And when you come, it launches off your penis like a rocket ship. It's like speed boost for the truck.
Yeah, it's super cool,
That's how you start the truck.
That's how you start the truck.
Yeah. It will genetically read your own penis, and it will match it up to the database, and it will determine if it's your penis or not, and then it will only start if it's yours.
You bust right in the exhaust. That's how you start it up.
It's the only way to truly determine that it was your vehicle.
Yeah, it's the only true way. The penis stamp is
evidence.
The penis stamp is the most unique way to identify a human male. So, and we don't think the girls are going to drive the cyber truck. So what we do is we put in the cyber car, You know, the sleek cyber car is we put the dildo on the back and use the pussy imprint.
Cybercar has a dildo on.
Yeah, it's super cool, super long too, so you don't have to like get very close to the car.
This is in the future. This is how we come together in the post-scarcity society when there's no need for anyone to do any work. We still have to start each other's vehicles for each other every
Yeah,
morning.
we're still going to
It's how we
start
come
our own
together.
vehicles.
It's how we come together as a cooperative society, even in the post-scarcity world.
Yeah.
Hey, will you start my car? I already did. Look down.
I've been trying to start your car all morning. Did you remember to add me as a normal user? Because I've been trying to start your car for like 4 hours now. I finished several times. The Cybertruck is wearing assless chaps and has a big ass in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to make it super cool and edgy. That's in the southwestern style, like I like in Tesla. You know, that's why I'm out in Nevada.
This is the future. The cars used to be look almost nothing like people, unless you
Yeah.
looked at them from the front and you squinted and you
Yeah.
bit your lip a little bit. Then maybe they look like people. But now the whole back of the car is like a person.
The whole back
These
of the car is
legs-
like a person. It's an ass and assless chaps. You know, that crosses gender boundary. It's very good.
These legs, they're just rubber now. They don't move yet. It's a little spooky. But when we make the legs that move, then you will feel more like you are with a person and a car fused together.
We were a little bit worried about giving the cars, you know, trying to give them the cars sex robot personalities or the sex robot car personalities. We were worried about that, but it's fine.
Oh, Grimes, you've been talking this whole time. I'm so sorry. I was
Oh.
thinking about starting the Cybertruck.
Ah,
she's like been going the whole time. She's like described an album she's gonna do
Yeah.
about how you know Black Hammer has DNA modification tools or whatever.
Yeah. Nope. Nobody cares, Rhymes. You're nobody until Elon Musk loves you.
We didn't necessarily get the James Bond villains that I think everybody would have wanted, but I think we got the James Bond villains that we deserve.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, it's super cool. You know, I'm kind of like a Bond villain in that they have a really cool base in the desert covered in scorpions. And
He's
my
the
father,
son of a
Gendo
Bond
Musk,
villain.
is trying to annihilate all
Yeah.
humanity to see his wife again, and he's going to do it through oil revenue. It's pretty cool. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. If he could have just not gave so much of a shit about what was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, then none of this would have happened. But
Yeah.
no. All during the 1990s, everybody wanted to know what was in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
It is a little weird now, but that's why that's there.
Yeah, well, that's why the second impact happened, because we found out it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was a super cool time.
It's a weird thing to say now, like a rotary telephone, but it was.
Yeah.
The Dead Sea Scrolls were very big when when Hideki Anno was very depressed in the 1990s.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all super cool, you know. It was a very cool thing to do. Oh, man.
Why is that motherfucker okay, he slid into the news cycle in a big way when he was in control of all those financial assets and constantly manipulating the price of a security, openly. And then he kind of slickly slid back out after that disastrous SNL performance.
He didn't slide in or out. It's just they decided oh, that would be bad press for Elon. That means my stocks are going to perform badly if we keep making fun of him or pointing out that he's just this awkward weirdo, and he reveals that he's not the super genius he portends to be. Because then
the year was 2 seasons of a weird TV show.
Yeah.
Where the first season was about Elon Musk, and then after they swept him off the stage, the second season was supposed to be about Bezos going to space.
Yeah.
But everybody just honked their cock at it as soon as they saw it so fucking hard. They backed down really hard from showing you a bunch of the Bezos shit.
Well, because they were
everybody
loves a billionaire vampire that his idea of flirting is I want to rub lavender oil gently on your cheek, and then and he also has divorced guy energy now, so he's desperately for affection that he really doesn't deserve. He's not like a down on your luck divorce guy. The man has enough money that he buys children for blood. So
look, I am barefooted.
And that just got us kicked off of Twitch. So
Oh, cool. Fuck.
That checks out.
God damn it. All right. Well, I can't
We
remember.
love you, Bezos. You
I can't.
bald
Does he own
bitch.
YouTube? I can't remember.
No, it's that
Okay.
weird Hindi guy who owns YouTube.
Okay. The YouTube is up because I don't know the weird Hindi guy's name.
Yeah. He's lucky. As soon as I find it out, I'll have mean things to say about him too. Well, I mean, like, fuck it. I already know what mean things to say about him. He's a fucking vampire.
Wow, that was. Did we get that for one Bezos, which I said very rapidly?
No, we got it from my prolonged Bezos, which I said very directly and made sure to enunciate.
Because I knew I did one, but I couldn't remember how many you did, or if you.
It might, to be fair, it might be the sum total of Bezos is insulted, and
Yeah.
he's like that scientific measurement, the mole. I don't know what that measurement actually is, but at the same time,
Like that's such a
it's
useless act because we could
it's
just
fu-
get
it's a
on any
fucking
other.
lot, and fuck him.
That's such a useless act because we could just get on any other platform and say the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, do you think they drank the Kool-Aid a little bit of their own thing about like having this like media quote unquote
Yeah.
control? Like the idea of Twitch or YouTube being the same as a legitimate television channel, it's really not because there's no unified theory behind it pushing it, right?
Right.
It's never going to be 1984 again where you walk into your friend's house and the television that their parents bought is just naturally playing like the local news. That's never going to happen again, right?
No.
People can pick whatever it is they want to be watching, even if it is several giant conglomerates push everything kind of. It's still, you're never going to be able to homogenize it down to it means something to be a media mogul, right?
No.
Like,
yeah, these jackasses, like what they did was they broke up the monopoly of the news, right? They broke up the monopoly of the major networks. Fox News was like kind of the herald because there were three and then there were like four, right? But if there were
yes.
four, that means there's a crack in that armor. You can actually just kind of do this. You know what I mean? There's not actually something individually tying these things together, or more importantly, away from other rich people. So it was
Like
only a matter of time.
You can't target that audience though, right? Like Onan is eating them up specifically.
Kind of, but that audience is also old as shit. As the audience gets younger, like Onan loses power every time one of their fucking viewers dies, which is the best part about them being like committed.
I love that it's called.
Oh God.
I love that it's called Onan. You sounded like you were talking about a fucking D&D campaign.
Yeah,
See,
well, like
Onan will only lose enough power for the adventurers to kill him if the
if he
viewers
kills
die.
his followers. Yeah, if he kills his
What
followers, it's like Oan or whatever, right? Onanism, the Onanism network, the masturbation network.
Onan is.
Like it's really named after what it is. It's an exercise in masturbation because it's a masturbatory exercise of control over people who are just craving control.
Right.
You're just begging for it anyway. So it's like not like you're doing like everyone's like, oh my god, they're so subversive to the liberal order. They are the liberal order, motherfucker. Liberalism really is that sick and unhealthy, and we're just
Absolutely.
watching liberals die.
Yeah,
That's all
the
we're
shark and
doing.
the shark and the lamprey are functionally the same thing here. I mean, there's no
Right.
no one thing is going to happen that either one of them really hates. You know, not as long as they're attached to each other.
Right. These things are locked into a disgusting fucking, OAN is as much liberalism as liberalism is OAN. They're tied to fucking together. They're just
Yeah.
capitalism. They're
Without
just
that-
trying to profit.
Without that breaking force of shrieking hogs reacting to every molecule of progress, something might actually change, especially in a left direction. And you know, they don't want to do that today.
Yeah,
They
but by the
don't
exact
have
same
that
token.
they don't have that on the books this quarter.
But
you
at
know?
the exact same token, to make that happen, they have to sacrifice a number of their own viewers.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Elderly freaks and that weird subsection of like 20-year-olds who went gray and bald at the same time when they were 15. And who like instead of just being
yes.
like I'm a hat guy now, they just went insane.
It's like Ian Miles Chong-itis.
Yes. Like weird little people that only appeal to their fucking Grammys.
Yes.
Like weird little people who aren't popular, have no real influence. Like the number of Ian Miles Chong fans there are under the age of 57, is low enough that they're like my show's numbers, right? They number in the Sons of Trierre's viewership. He's entirely fake. He just says these things, then people are like, "Oh, we have to respond to it." Here's what you do: you start off with, I don't know, this fucking weird no name, right? That's the thing these people never do. They always give them respect and like say their name. Just call him. There's this weird fucking no name saying this shit. I don't know. Like you can listen to
Yeah.
it, but he's kind of fucking dumb, and just
Yeah.
write it off and then laugh about it in a way a normal person would instead of giving it intellectual credence
Right.
that it
Like
clearly does not deserve.
if it's Chad Prather, it's a man dressed as a cowboy. So
I,
like,
I'm
I
gonna be
mean,
a little
like,
bit. I'm gonna be a little bit arrogant here. All right, what we do when we're actually like working deserves a little bit of intellectual credence, enough to like deserve a response because we actually bothered to think about it, consider all the viewpoints. Right? We did the
yeah.
work. You can't even prove these motherfuckers can read, and you're responding to them. Like, there's no substantive evidence Dave Rubin or Ian Miles Chong can actually read. There's nothing.
do you
There's
think
no proof.
do you think they're
Zero
so
proof.
interchangeable? Do you think they're so interchangeable that you could lump them all into like 5 or 6 categories, like video game accessory characters? Like this one's a 4-star. Ian Miles Chong is like a 4-star, obviously. Like there's 5-star ones like Jones. Like we covered, Alex Jones is absolutely a 5-star.
Okay, if we were using the Genshin rating, Alex Jones is absolutely a 5-star drop, must get. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
That's limited time only. You blow all your wishes because you're trying to get Jones because he's the best off-field support you can have. Because
Absolutely. Hands
just
down the best off-field support you can have. It's like
walking around saying that shit constantly,
it's because
constantly.
it's obviously because his elemental skill is equivalent to Zhang Chu's elemental burst, right? All the water
Yeah.
swords, but he
Mhm.
gets it as an elemental skill with skill with a low recharge. So
Mhm.
like way better than Raiden Shogun's fucking stat.
He has an extremely low recharge rate because he's full of zootropics all the time.
Yeah, well, it's because it's
Nootropics?
to be fair, you do have to get to C4 for that to unlock the beta male vitality talent.
Noah Sutricals? God damn it! What is nutraceuticals? That's it.
Nutraceuticals is what they're called.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
portmanteau of bullshit that they peddle
I
across the world to
I
devastatingly effective success.
I got the nutraceuticals right here, and like picture me grabbing my nutraceuticals.
Yeah, he means his dick. He's talking about his dick, which
Oh, I thought we
actually
were making new pharmaceuticals.
no.
Yeah.
We're making them out of True's gigantic penis.
No, we haven't sold the old ones yet.
Well,
You gotta.
Facebook fact checkers just reporting in True doesn't have a gigantic penis, and I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I don't want to get us busted for fake news. You know the thing is too. The thing is, I just want to say this about fact checking. If you're not going to call Bezos a vampire, you're fake news, and your fact checking is suspect. We all know he's a vampire. Bezos has done nothing to hide the fact that he's a vampire with Blood Boys.
I
Just
mean, like, how overt does the vampires are stories about rich people? How overt does the metaphor have to be, right? Like,
uh,
holy shit! Like
the-
they do what? They suck the life force of a little town of peasants. Oh jeepers! Oh,
yeah.
where does he live? He lives in a big castle overlooking. Oh my!
Is Jeff Bezos a vampire? Well, it's true that Jeff Bezos annihilates small towns in the same way Walmart does by sucking out all of the local capital and centralizing it far away in a headquarters for the hands of a few rich people. However, because Jeff Bezos does not literally stalk the night as an unholy creature from beyond, that devours human beings by exsanguinating them through their necks. We rate this as mixed.
that there road, you see where the paving's all cracked up, it's all dirt now. That there road used to lead up to Harrisburg. It's not called Harrisburg no more, because they built one of them Amazon FCs there.
Yeah.
Everybody worked there for a few years. Now they call it Piss Jug Town. Just a whole town where the houses are built out of piss jugs and they live inside them. It's just a whole town of piss jugs. It's the damnedest, goddamn fuckingest, damnedest thing you ever fucking saw.
Were you looking at property down there, True?
Oh, you're moving to Central PA. Good for you.
They built a whole town out of piss jugs.
Piss Jugville.
Don't know what happened to the houses. The houses are gone.
They're
Bezos says don't know what happened to them.
piss jugs. Yuck, yuck. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to Big Titty Lisa, right? Who was obviously my first waifu choice. If we're gonna rate waifus hard, Aiki Sumeragi broke my waifu cherry way back when I was a teenager buying anime that I shouldn't have been able to buy on VHS. Just Agent Aika, absolutely, absolutely amazing because they put effort into it.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I
like,
think
I miss that kind of anime that was just complete crap, that was just complete sci-fi garbage, but they put so much real effort into it.
I
Like,
think there are just so many gems from like way back, like that are just, I mean, they're completely insane, and they're not really ever gonna, like, what do you do with Golgo 13? What do you do with The Professional? Like, what even is that now?
no,
Like,
you're not gonna get
everything
quality
about,
shit like that ever again.
like, what do you mean, like, a more amped up James Bond that doesn't seem somehow permissible? Like,
Yeah,
what do you mean? Like, what would that be? Oh,
crap.
just a stone-faced hired killer that every single plot is about. Is he going to be able to kill this person? Oh, yep, he did. Is he going to get away? He did.
Oh, hey, I don't know. Will Bond be able to save the world? Oh, look, he saved the world. There's not like, I don't know. It's all crap now. It's all
I don't know, like,
garbage. I still watch.
uh,
I'll tell you what, man. When I was on vacation, right? Because I actually had a room away from the kids in the vacation house.
Holy shit.
I know, right? I was totally
Exciting,
just
dude.
watching. Yeah, it was exciting. Like, so when my wife would fall asleep at like 2 a.m., I'd be like, oh, it's 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna watch on Tubi. I'm gonna watch old Agent Ika.
hell yeah.
And I gotta tell you, as bad a plot as I remember it, the animation was that top-notch 90s shit. So like, it's bad, but it's really good bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot in episode, I think it's episode 6, they just this girl absolutely rapes Ica and sells her pictures on not the internet but like on giant floppy disks, and Ica goes on a murder spree to get the floppy disks back. You
Yeah,
can't have a plot like that ever again.
there
Like, you
was a lot of
cannot.
weird there was a lot of weird sex scandal slash revenge porn plots that are never coming back, like Perfect
No.
Blue from back then.
Yes.
Perfect Blue from back then had like a way more plausible Black Swan kind of plot that wasn't just like this lady went crazy because she's so jealous. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't like that. It was like this lady went crazy because the entertainment industry sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it was really good, but I think there's parts of it that you're not gonna. I mean, even Satoshi Kon, even the guy that made Perfect Blue, when he makes shit now, it's like super sensitive, like character portraits of like hard times and shit. Like, he doesn't even
I
he
can't
didn't do
even.
a David Lynch and keep making the same twisted sex shit for his whole career.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. Lynch
Yeah.
is a little reactionary weirdo, but that shit rocks.
Yeah. Tune in 20 years later, right there at the beginning of the 3rd season of Twin Peaks, we're doing weird sex shit and getting murdered by ghosts.
Yep.
Excellent.
We're back.
On point.
We're back to David Lynch.
Sex shit with bad, uncomfortable, stilted dialogue that leads up to it that
Yes.
almost always makes you think, damn, some people like really have bad sex.
Yeah.
It always makes you think that. Like, he's so good with that shit.
I'm no
Like, you
professional, but this sex seems terrible.
everything David Lynch has ever done, after you watch it, you feel so lucky about your life.
Yeah.
You're like, my life rules.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know what? Maybe his job is to make you look at late capitalism and be like, oh, this could actually get worse.
Yeah, this is fine.
That's like David Lynch is a living threat that capitalism could get even worse. Like, it's just around the corner, bitch. Keep it up. Keep asking for stuff.
Yeah.
Lynch
Yeah.
time.
Like, Lost Highway seemed kind of aimless when it came out, but when you watch it now, it seems to have a plot because the dude just wants to like watch them so bad.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, it seemed kind of like like maybe not one of his best, but Lost Highway. Go back, folks. Give it a second viewing in Hell World.
I gotta do that, man. I used to have You get this. You want to hear how cheap I was as a college student? I don't know what the copyright infringement laws are, but I had a copy of that shit. I downloaded it from ISO Hunt when ISO Hunt was cool. Then I burned
Yeah.
it to a CD.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
730 megabytes or whatever, some kind of
Fuck.
compressed ass MPEG 2
Filled out
ass.
the whole CD.
Yeah.
Yep. Filled up the whole CD, so it was like, it was kind of like a welfare DVD.
Your disc burner was like, yo, I'm gonna have to compress this all the way down to MPEG 1, man. I'm
It take
sorry.
no, it was still in pretty good
You were like,
quality for the
do it.
time, but it did take 18 hours. Where I was just like, what am I gonna do for the next 18 hours? And, you masturbate and you're like, oh, that's 2 minutes out of the day. What do I do again? So you masturbate again and you're like, shit, that was 5, and now I'm sore. So
You
I'm gonna
could
play
listen to
Halo
any
2 on the
you could
Xbox.
listen to any of the excellent selections from the soundtrack to the film Lost Highway.
Yes.
Including David
No.
Bowie,
No.
Trent Reznor.
I could not do that because then the computer would have crashed while I'm just burning.
It brings up the CD player sized window, but it's just blank, and the little hourglass just keeps turning around and around.
Yeah. Every
You're
time
like, fuck.
every time you touch the keyboard, it sets it back 10 minutes because it's got to process yet another thing.
Well, they should bring back BitTorrent, but like, in place of meaningless Bitcoin mining.
Yeah.
They should be like, okay, you get Bitcoin and a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to steal the movies.
At least we were melting our hardware to get movies.
Yeah.
Parody in Minecraft. Parody.
In Minecraft, parody, joke, witticism. Boop, boop, beep, boop. We're not advocating for illegal stuff.
In that Minecraft update where you farm movies.
Yes.
That mod.
Minecraft movie farmer mod. There we go. We got there. We got there, guys.
Yeah.
Legally indemnified. But yeah.
I mean, I guess I can remember people saying like that there was no way that you needed all that stuff, and it somehow was meant to be a privilege of wealth to be able to enjoy that much culture. But I never went to the record store again. I never went to the video store again. Like, my whole life changed. And
it absolutely, like, the thing was, what they pitched was it was going to kill those movies, right? It was going to kill cinema, which it fucking hasn't.
No.
But what it did kill was it showed that there was a methodology to kill the retail store. And those sons of bitches, like, in all their dishonesty, were not like, this is why you can't do it, it's going to cost jobs. Because then we don't need the retail stores, we're just going to switch to these distribution networks. They just switched to the distribution networks anyway and blamed you for building them for them and showing them how to make them at maximized efficiency.
You still had to truck physical media. I mean, like, let the same asshole that stands around in your electronics department at your store just stand around in a department where they have a bunch of flash drives and fucking CDRs and shit. And, like, just fucking accessories for just duplicating a bunch of media. I mean, what's up? I mean, like, take risks and innovate, like capitalism. Like, what's up? The market is unregulated. The market's going to do stuff. But somehow it wasn't characterized as part of the market. It was characterized as just thievery.
Right. Well, that's the thing, because they couldn't admit that they were going to pull a fucking Fast Eddie, that they were going to fucking sleight of hand that shit, take all that information they had learned from the thieves, that they, the so-called thieves, right?
Yes.
That there was like a totally different way to do this, and that the distribution could be entirely, or the money from the movie no longer had to be made in just ticket sales and media sales after the fact. That you could make the money through advertising, and you could make the money through merchandising.
You're selling high-speed internet. You're selling streaming televisions. You're selling video cards.
Right, and by actually by nationalizing the distribution market, cutting out the distribution middleman, and then by selling merchandise, by selling events and things like that, you could have, yes, you were going to eliminate the retail store, but you were going to open up this whole convention and cultural thing on the premise, on that entire premise of free distribution networks, because you nationalized the internet. Instead, what they did was like, oh yeah, we're absolutely going to rape this industry, but what we're also going to do is call you thieves while you do all the hard work for us to innovate. That way we don't have to.
Like, the best part is like if done correctly, you just take the same employees and they don't have to get their faces spit in every day anymore.
Right.
They don't have to work in a video store.
Joke's on you. They're still getting their faces spit in.
Yeah, just in a different place. Yeah.
By different people.
Yeah, now it's on OnlyFans and you're paying a premium to watch them get their face spit in.
You don't have to work in a video store. You don't have to work in a video store in the South anymore and then a guy that you've never seen before comes up to the counter and he's holding a copy of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and he slams it down on the counter in front of you and he says, "This isn't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm very upset. I need a refund." That never happens to you. You just work in a little warehouse somewhere that like makes a t-shirt or something. Like if they had just, like you say, just done a handoff instead of a fast Eddie.
Right. But no, obviously can't do that. That's a bunch of
Mm-mm.
bullshit. That's wrong. You're immoral for doing it. Thanks for showing us how to do it so that we can kill these retail industries that are associated and just
Yep.
absolutely bank even more obscene fucking profits from the whole process. Our
Yep.
industry's fine.
Here's a big show of a video store slowly decaying and dying in the middle of your town, just in the most pathetic and obvious way ever.
Yeah.
Because this old thing has to go out of business. There's no way to just convert these assets to a new paradigm. No, all these guys got to go down. Fuck
Yeah.
these guys.
And it's entirely because like when you boil it down, it's entirely because of austerity. Like the thing is the retailer doesn't have to die. You have to force people away from the retailer in order to save costs on retail.
Yeah, I
Because
used
you
to
don't want
like
to pay associated cost.
in the 90s when I was becoming a teenager and being cool. I used to like to drive around in my car and walk in a room full of movies in to look at which one to take home in my car again
Yeah.
and feel the breeze and see the sights. But like that shit costs money and gas and shit and time, and I don't do that shit anymore. Last
No.
year, people were told not to do that shit at all.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, like honestly, like you want to hear my conspiracy theory? This is conspiratorial Dan. Boop 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 boop. Like absolutely, those lockdown orders were motivated by people who wanted to kill off any associations to the retail. They
Hell
wanted
fucking
to
yeah.
they wanted to obliterate the notion of retail, and the conservatives were the only ones who were like, "No, I have to have somebody to spit in the face of.
Yes.
I can't spit on
That's
my
my
computer; it's
favorite
breaking
thing.
it."
Now that you're saying you're going to take it away, I just now realized that my favorite thing is every time I buy a device of any kind, of any complexity,
He's
going
yelling
back
at
to the
the
store and
salesperson.
yes, and
Yeah.
yelling at a guy and like, "Hey, motherfucker, I can't activate my fucking $5 burner phone that you sold me, you piece of
How am I
shit."
supposed to talk to my mistress now?
My mistress is waiting to hear from me, and I can't activate this shit. And do you know what it said? Do you know what it said, motherfucker? The second menu option was to have it in Spanish. What the fuck? I thought this was America. Like,
Yeah.
you, you have to be able to yell that at some kid that's just confused and just wants to go back home and play video games or whatever. If you can't do that, then I thought this was America, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like it's fucked up, but yeah, it's super fucked. It's a bunch of bullshit. But no, if you look at all the people who were calling for the lockdown orders and digital distribution, it was all the global capitalists. What do the global capitalists want to do? They want to eliminate the last part of the distribution chain. How do you
Yeah,
do
for
that?
sure.
You have to streamline distribution down to what is only physical and transform as much as humanly possible into digital. Because the distribution networks, you can force nation states to take on debt to build them, then sell them
Mhm.
to you, and by sell I mean give, and then you don't have to pay anything to maintain them. Doesn't matter if they fall apart. That's not how your brain thinks. You're not worried about decay. Erosion
Yeah,
isn't a thing.
yeah.
And then you just let things fucking, then you just pump it out through those, and then you blame the end user when the fucking thing finally breaks.
Yeah.
And then
You
eventually,
assume
when it gets too bad, you make a government absorb all that cost again and do it all again, and give you back that free stuff,
that's
right?
the best part. That's the best part. That's the best
My
part because
favorite part.
you've built your reputation and your personality around saying that nobody
It's
needs help
even
from the government for anything.
it's even better whenever they pay you and then you just don't upgrade it, like you're the fucking
Yeah.
wireless companies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like your
Then you
wireless
just
or
don't do the thing that you were paid for, and then people complain, and then you charge them to do the thing that you were already paid to do 20 years down the line.
right.
high-speed cable providers. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
wait. Are we still broadcasting on the internet?
yeah.
I mean, Verizon and Comcast are so good.
They are essential. I said
I
the thing.
love
I said no. I
being
said it.
throat fucked with my internet bill every month.
We're
Yeah.
never gonna get away with a non sort of on topic show again where we don't get kicked off multiple platforms. It's never gonna
No.
happen.
Yeah, because we've just pissed off literally everybody.
It's never gonna happen.
But like, let's fucking face it. There is no need for an internet service providing company. Like
No,
there's
it's
absolutely zero
ridiculous.
need. Those are just
It's
handed to
ridiculous
them.
on its face.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Well, like the government laid all the wires, so obviously we're gonna need to pay somebody to get the internet to you. Didn't they pay for all the wires? Um, yeah, but
yeah, yeah.
if they who's gonna maintain the wires? Well, they could. Oh yeah, I guess they could, but oh geez, if they maintain the
Oh,
wires, that's
geez,
okay.
Rick.
Oh geez, Rick, it sounds like they're doing a communism, Rick.
Yep, they're gonna do a communism and make people too dependent on the government. Yep.
They're gonna be too dependent on the government for doing the boring maintenance work that nobody wants to do.
Nobody ever would want to do. Like, choosing an insurance plan, for instance. Like, that kind of stuff that nobody would ever want to do
Yeah,
with their time that they had to be alive on Earth.
yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Bunch of jerk off shit. All right, so you know what? Let's wrap up tonight. Let's wrap it up with this, right? So we were doing originally before we got on all these fucking tangents. We were doing a cost benefit analysis of fucking Genshin Impact. So
Yeah.
if we're comparing it to World of Warcraft, there's no upfront entry fee. You've already paid all the associated costs. You have to download it. Now you do have to have the proper device, just like World of Warcraft. Mind, you have to have a
Yeah.
functional device, right? So there is
Yeah.
that limiter. If you're playing on the PlayStation and not on mobile or PC, you're paying a little extra there, which is then you're paying the monthly fee for PlayStation, which is something like $5. So you're paying the same entry. But for the sake of argument, let's say you're playing on a PC where it is truly free entry, right?
Yeah.
So they have, if you will, they have payment tiers, right? You can think of it payment tiers. You can think of free to play as the base tier where you get all the story content, access to all the event content so long as you meet the in-game necessary requirements, which does actually take a while. And it takes a while if you're a pay to play. So there's
Yeah.
not much of a functional difference there, right?
Which really is the foundation of the role-playing game market since the early days of computer games, was which one of these things is the biggest and the longest. That really was, and again, some of the stuff in modern games like Genshin is created artificially through just like making the grind maybe a little too long. But I
Yeah.
think in the end, I think it's part of a satisfying role-playing game experience where you actually play the thing over an extended period of time.
Well, chat, this is what happens when my fucking back hurts. I'll just do whatever. And we honestly got on some great tangents, and I had to do my Alex Jones. I promise, Jank.
I love an Alex Jones.
He loves my Alex Jones.
I mean, this is pure garbage, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So the first tier is and let's label the tiers like this: what you pay, what you get. The first tier is $5.99 a month. Or is it $4.99 or $5.99? I want to say $5.99. I want to say it's $6.
Yeah.
Now these are in American prices, so take that as you will. Some regions are different. Okay. That nets you 300 of a virtual currency, which is the equivalent of a wish, and a little bit of change, and then it nets you a little over half of a wish. The end result is you're paying $5.99 essentially for every 30 days for a guaranteed, what is that? Almost 20 wishes. It comes to like 28 wishes, which is the optimal way to wish is in a 10 pack. You can individually wish, but God help me, that is a slow grind and it's not worth it. The rates are better on the big packs, so you're guaranteed out of that to be very close to 20.
Yeah.
Between all the in-game rewards, you could easily, if you manage it right, you could easily get that up to shit. Out of your first rewards plus your quest, you could easily get up to 20 wishes, probably by AR10. And I think
I think so.
I think I'm being a little bit conservative in that estimate.
Well, I started really late, and the fucking little mailbox is full of a bunch of promotional shit they've gave out like the whole time the game's been running. So it lets you have all that shit. I remember having a lot of shit when I first started playing it.
Plus, the beginner's wish is only 8 for a 10 roll. So you only need to get up to 16 wishes. So like that $5.99 really goes far. After 30 days, you're making your wishes. Now,
Yeah.
it's about every 40. How long does a battle pass run? It's a little over a month, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 weeks. So every 5 or 6 weeks, they offer a $20 offering that gets you access to. There's a free mode on the battle pass, which everybody gets, and then there's a double reward where they start getting really juicy with the gems and the shit like that. You need to level up your characters because everything in this game is about transactions turning into um, power. Everything about
That
the game.
I will say it's nice that all the unique and special shit scales. Like,
Yes.
there's really nothing that I've gotten that if I didn't want to, I couldn't make it, viable at whatever point the content is at, like level wise. Like that's really kind of a nice feeling of just like, oh, it's a little different from I spent a lot of time playing Destiny, which
Yeah.
I enjoyed. I'm not going to
Well,
say I didn't enjoy Destiny. I enjoyed it
we
very
can compare
much.
it to Destiny, but let's go through these pricing models, right? So then there's a $20 entry that gets you the double. If you go for the premium, the $30 entry, they give you the first 10 levels, or they give you a 10 level bump from where you're at, and then they at rank 30 in the battle pass, they give you a special weapon that can only be accessed through the battle pass, which is a premium weapon, right?
Yeah.
So if you value the premium builds, but you don't want to spend just like dump hundreds of dollars on a credit card to roll for them, that's a very easy way to secure a premium reward.
Yeah.
Okay, and it makes it. I mean, True and I are both on that grind.
Yeah.
True can attest that particular grind does feel relative to the fact you're spending money in a video game, quote unquote, worth it, right? But
Yes.
that means over a 2 month period, if you were to do the $20 buy-in plus two of the, I'm going to say for the sake of argument, $6 buy-ins, you are then paying like an $18 a month subscription, right? Or
Yeah.
16. Yeah, it's a $16 a month subscription, right?
And I think to make an important distinction here, like I again, the thing does not physically exist. There are
No.
situations where I resold a physical copy of an old school role playing game where I resold it years later and was very pleased to turn a profit even. There are
Yeah.
those situations, but did I ever do what I thought I might do and
Well,
go back and
again,
boot
we're
up those save files? I never went back and booted up those save files.
yeah, it's never going to happen. So, like, the media is dead. Whereas this is rolling, it's ongoing. There are updates monthly.
Yeah.
It's 6 weeks. There's updates 6 weeks, and it basically coincides with the battle pass, and they are not stopping on adding new content in the form of events, quest lines, stuff to do within the game universe that isn't just grinding. Um, Although some of that shit can be very grindy. Um, in terms of what you're paying for with all that, like I said, you're paying for essentially rolls in the gambling machine. You're paying rolls in the gotcha,
Yeah.
which, depending on how blasé your attitude is towards gotcha and loot boxing and all that shit, is not necessarily a boon. It's not necessarily a hindrance. Not necessarily, if you're neutral to it like I am, okay, it's just how they decide to do their mechanism. Reward wise, compared to other gotcha games, Genshin's more generous. They definitely have the lowest bar to it, both in how you secure free wishes and free rolls at the slot machine, and what you get out of paying for it. To give you an example, in other gotcha games, it usually takes 3 to 4 10 packs of 40 wishes to get a low rank character. In Genshin, it's not uncommon to get multiple low rank characters by your 20th wish, right? So
Yeah.
2 rolls at the machine. And their pity system is more generous than any other game with a pity system, in that it kicks in automatically at 90 and you get a guaranteed premium, either weapon or character. And they favor characters over weapons because people like the characters.
Yeah.
Leveling up the characters confers a refund of 3 wishes in them once you get them to rank 5, so stopping everybody at 80. Every 4 characters, you get another free roll to 10, right? To either empower them or ideally secure yet another character, another toy to play with, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about playing with them as toys ultimately, right? So you're playing for this virtual sandbox. In terms of map size and content to fill those maps, it has the downside of being repetitive, unlike something like Fallout, which is purely random events. it has the upside of not only being super massive, but because it has that grind element, the fact that it is repetitive means when I'm looking for something, I can just go find it once, mark down where to go, and go back. So that grindy element can be enhanced through map manipulation, right? Unlike
In my case,
Destiny, where it's all
even though
memory.
it's not even though it's not meta to do this, in my case, I've found that I really don't mind a lot of the multiple encounters because even the starter characters and the few characters I've been able to get mostly free, there's a lot of stuff you can do with that combat system, and I'm still working on dumb combos. So
Yeah.
in the sense that you do kind of run into similar opponents, like I really don't mind it that much. I
In,
kind of look forward to, getting like a little, like you can chase people with some of the specials. Plays a lot like a fighting game or like a
it,
good action game.
Yeah, it's an action RPG. Ultimately, it's a lot of exploration, it's a lot of action combat, and it's a lot of map manipulation, knowing how to manipulate like character swings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there are like, solid action elements behind it, even though somebody was, you'll see derisively like, oh, you just press B to win. Well, first off,
I
it's
mean, you
three buttons.
could.
Like, let's be fair. Second off, what game isn't three buttons to win? So the complaint is kind of stupid. It's what
Yeah.
you're doing within that, and in that regard, they've really made the idea that like, when you're on a four-player team, your role is important. Are you the healer? Are you the shield generator? Are you main
Yeah.
DPS? Are you support? You should be building characters then to fulfill your role if you intend on playing a lot of co-op. If you intend to
Yeah.
play it a lot like a single-player game, you are then taking on the role of almost an SRPG, and you're shaping your lineup to fulfill those roles as best you can, right?
Like I think the sandbox mechanics really back up a lot of the repetitive content too.
Yeah.
You're
Nobody
bored of this
probably
place, you can go somewhere else, sort of
Right.
thing.
nobody fucks with Wind Traveler, but you can put the little fire bearer inside the tornado, okay? You can get Zhang Lang, you can put the little fire bearer out there, then you can get stupid ass Wind Traveler and put him in a little tornado. And
Yeah.
he flies along in the tornado and shoots fire, and the tornado turns into a fire tornado.
Un-
Like, that's all sandbox.
Unlike the most common comparison, which is like Genshin is a shitty Zelda. Kind of. In Zelda, the purpose is to switch outfits, generally speaking, and some equipment to generate a whole new effect for your Zelda. But that Zelda pretty much plays, or excuse me, that Link, my bad. That Link plays pretty much just like that Link is going to, and there's no further strategy than which Link do you pick, right? You're just in Magic the Gathering terms, it plays like a Tron deck. You build it right and it'll work just fine. It'll always do what it's going to do. There's no
Yeah.
diversity to it. If you enjoy diversity to your gameplay, Genshin blows that shit out of the water and makes Link look fucking terrible
Yeah.
because everything is about how diverse your lineup is, what
Yeah.
particular strategy you're employing in the moment, and then how you execute that strategy. Did you follow the plan? If
Yeah.
you're not following the plan, you're going to have a bad time. If you miscalculated, you're going to have a bad time. It rewards you for preparation and forethought, whereas Zelda is a matter of like, it's try, ultimately it's the birthplace of like try and die gameplay. Did it work? Did it not work? Did it work? Did it not work? Did it work? Did it not work? Oh, I finally found a combination that worked. That's done forever. Let's move on to the next fucking thing.
I mean, I got strong Zelda vibes during the, story exploration part, but I mean, like, that's a genre now. Like, when it asks you to break into two teams, when it asks you to field two viable teams, I
Yeah.
immediately got bigger Disgaea vibes than anything.
Yeah, it feels somewhere like a more manageable and more sane Disgaea or a strategy RPG as
Hmm.
opposed to the more simplistic did I link right or not? Did I link or
I think
not?
I think that's a great payoff to find in the end game for something that was mostly about exploration and story development. To
Yeah.
all of a sudden be like, oh, now field 8 of these badasses. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
hope you
Don't
did your
mind if I
homework.
do.
And the
Don't
more
mind if I do.
the more you do on your homework, the more rewards you get in the long term, which keeps the feedback loop positive, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in normal gameplays, ultimately the single player game, once you've made the badasses, unless you're
Yeah.
masturbating, that's it. Now you can just go beat the game, right? Unless you're just deciding to power masturbate, that's it. Whereas
I mean,
Genshin
I love
constantly
the
wants you to get those characters more powerful and then play around with the combinations, how you line up your action figures, which Other games don't do. Certainly Destiny doesn't. Destiny
No.
actively punishes you at every turn to keep you playing. It's about a test of endurance against the game itself, which is objectively shit. Not only is Destiny prima facie more expensive, you have to pay, just like with WoW, you have to pay for all the expansion packs, but you're paying a higher premium for the expansion packs than you would even with WoW, which was unfucking forgiving about them, right? 20
In
versus
Destiny,
40.
in Destiny, you weren't allowed to change from your one character that you put 1,000 hours to into your other character that you put 800 hours into during a raid. So what did people do? They made their friends fucking stand there during a bunch of loading sequences while they fucking went out, got their other character, and came back in.
Yeah.
Punished everybody to the tune of 3 or 4 minutes, possible multiple disconnects, just for wanting to use the other character that they have.
Yeah,
Like,
the other toy they
fucking
want to play with.
suck
You
me a
want to,
cock.
whereas in Genshin, if you're not doing a specialized raid dungeon or a mini raid in the form of what they call a domain, right, a reward run, you're free to play with your action figures with your
And
teammates.
even those are, welcomingly short to the idea of going all the way out, reorganizing my team, and coming back in.
Yeah, and then the next criticism levied is that there's not a lot of playstyle variance. Well, first off, in gaming there really isn't a lot of playstyle variance. The options
Yeah,
are always there, but the incentive is to make you pick the optimum option and repeat spam that. And once you get bored with it, you're done with
yeah.
the game.
If you let
So
those meta nerds tell you this is how to win fastest, like then you're never going to put the little bear inside the tornado and make the fire tornado.
you
That's
never
never going to
will.
happen for you. You're never going to learn that if you time it perfectly on the frame in which you banish the opponent, in which you knock the opponent away from you, you can change to Rosaria and already execute Rosaria's little
Well, don't
chase attack with the
don't get too
spear.
specific. My man's not. Chat
Sh-
is
sh-
not. Chat and the general viewers are not necessarily playing this game. We are pitching it to them as to why we're doing it
You
ultimately.
can switch characters and teleport behind the opponent like it was Marvel vs. Capcom
Yes.
2.
The like each character plays unique and it has about 2 to 3 different play styles built into it, and then with the permutations as you acquire more characters, it gets you get more and more interesting permutations that are all perfectly
Yeah.
viable.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, there's no like there's obviously nerds will always do their stupid little tier lists, but there's
Right.
no gotta have,
Yeah.
right?
Because
There's
you're eventually going to find that one special character for you in which you can climb the highest mountain in the land like it was Zelda, but then also when you get to the top of that mountain, you can find the cute little monster that lives there, and you can
and
air juggle him 40 times and make the last hit be falling off the mountain.
just absolutely wreck the shit out of that little turd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has a high diversity of playstyle, whereas like even things like Pokemon ultimately like once you get into quote unquote professional play, there's set play styles, there's not a lot of variance. We're kind of stuck and it's all rock, paper, scissors, luck, ultimately.
Right. You
Right?
don't you think the guy only has a bunch of Iron Meals Chongs in his deck and then he pulls out an Alex Jones.
Yeah. Magic the Gathering, if you play professionally, everything's very much scripted and there's a little bit of bluffing involved. That's about it. And that bluffing
There's a
can
little
make
bit
it.
of bluffing, a little bit of luck.
Yeah,
That's about it.
it's luck and bluffing at that point. The gameplay itself is all mechanical. It's all computerized almost, right?
Yeah.
Without the variance of like intentionally amplified variance, there is nothing interesting to see because once a format's figured out, which happens faster and faster these days, especially with spoiler season happening, literally like 2 spoilers in advance.
Yeah.
The gameplay itself at the professional level is interesting and not very, or excuse me, loses its ability to be interesting, and instead becomes just like what rock paper scissors thing I'm going to do.
it becomes
Requiring
extremely niche. It becomes
yes,
the same way. Like if you invested enough time in Halo that you care who can jump and shoot the Magnum better
well,
or the battle
it's
rifle.
the delivery of the BXR ultimately is what broke down
Yeah, the
something
battle
like
rifle.
Halo
Yeah,
2. Yeah, well, no, not even the battle rifle. The specific action, melee action of the BXR, or the
yeah,
double or the quick reload. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and on top of that, accuracy. Like, it starts becoming computerized and starts less becoming diverse gameplay. There's
Or
not as much room for free thought. Genshin, single player or multiplayer, since it's cooperative, not competitive, actively encourages trying things by, again, it's not necessarily there aren't characters that aren't better than other characters, but it overcomes that inherent hurdle by making sure that all the characters are good enough if you do your job in feeding them,
It
which
would be
becomes a
really
fun part of the grind because of course you unlock more to feed them with. Destiny's all about set recipes and then making sure to obliterate those set recipes, forcing you to find new set recipes to do it again, and it becomes a job, right?
like Genshin. I would
Right.
actually play it. I would play it with weaker characters. If they
Yeah.
made all those losers and drunks that hang around on the side of the road and claim to be sword masters, if they made those guys into 3 stars, and you could play like the legendary sword guy that lives in the house on the side of the mountain or whatever, and it turns out he really sucks. I would play those characters,
Just
like
to see
in
how
that
far you
game.
can take them. Yeah, see what they combo. You
Like I
know.
like that game.
Yeah, it really is addictive in a certain way. From a narrative standpoint, the narrative is not the best thing I've ever seen, but I've played some shit in my day, and compared to what they're pumping out now, which is just like, can we make it an action movie with absolutely zero plot and all sorts of fake necessity? Like Genshin's a welcome respite because it will bounce from levity to accidental levity, which is the best, and then to like, oh, I'm actually throwing down with a god, right? The classic RPG thing, and how it
Yeah.
handles the seriousness of its gods is amazing. From a theoretician standpoint, I absolutely love the insight into the Chinese worldview in mind,
Oh, absolutely. It's
which
like
you
uh
can't really get even from like their scripted shows, because of course they're watching their shows more heavily for controls, like to de-westernize them and make them uniquely Chinese products. They tend to focus a lot on historical dramas versus like a lot and like reality TV shows rather than like this kind of content. Genshin is getting a lot of a free pass by comparison.
absolutely.
So you get to really see how they view themselves in the form of leeway, how they view the West in the form of Mondstadt, how they view Japan,
Yeah.
their historical rival, in the form of Inazuma, and we're going to see how they view the Middle East here coming up very soon. And I think with the chasm, we're going to see. I am suspecting we're going to see how they view global warming. No
Yeah.
bullshit, like at least if not global warming directly, at least environmental destruction and preservation, right?
Yeah. Elon Musk's dad is down there digging tunnels for the
Yes.
Boring Company.
Also, fun aside, they made Elon Musk a little girl, which named Ella Musk, who wants to. Her fetish is to try to talk to the monster enemies who have their own language and culture and bridge the gap. So like this cute little thing, like that basically says like what this cute little doofus wants to do is actually legitimately important, but this little doofus doing it of their own accord is not the way to achieve these ends.
And those
Which,
guys are being actively genocided by the Knights of Favonius while they're all drunk on dandelion wine all the time.
oh,
So it's not like maybe you
yes.
shouldn't do something about that. Like
Oh, the city of Mondstadt is premised upon absolute libertarian annihilation of the other
there really
for
are. I mean, I'm not even
for
joking.
its
There's notes
sense of
pinned up
freedom.
everywhere that says
And
we would be here, but we're too drunk.
yes. And my second favorite part to that, which they low key acknowledge, their particular patron deity is alive and well, and he's also the weakest little doofus who's obsessed with his own freedom and irresponsibility. And
Yeah,
like again, the commentary on the West
it's
is
great.
just phenomenal because they don't present him as a bad guy. They just present him as
No,
clearly
no,
an
just
alternative you should not take.
kind of
Like
incompetent.
yeah, the fact that he foists his godlike responsibilities on the masses, whereas like in the form of how they see themselves, the god of leeway sees themselves as a transitional figure. Ultimately, it may have taken 5,000 years, but by the narrative of the story, and I don't want to spoil it too much if you decide to pull the trigger, the god of leeway transitions out voluntarily, whereas the
Yeah,
Japanese god is obsessed with eternity and decides to have a heavy hand and be aloof and very unfamiliar with the changes of the world. And like again, the commentary is stellar because they don't necessarily say anything is specifically bad. They leave you to draw your own judgments.
right.
But um,
Close the ports and do a bunch of cop shit is just a way to maybe achieve eternity.
yes, but it's not the right way to achieve eternity. It is just, but it's not that it's not laudable to achieve your goals. It's not laudable that your society wants to operate that way. However, the way you want to do it may be kind of the wrong way. Ballsy, ballsy shit.
Yeah.
And like it's just fantastic. The commentary on economics is fantastic, and frankly different than what I would have expected.
Yes.
Because it's not like I expected it to be a lot more, frankly, a lot more pious, right? The commentary is akin to what you would expect from a leftist or a Marxist, in that, um, I'll spoil this a little bit and they'll explain it more if you play it. Money is a transformational machine,
Yeah.
but like that's it. Like you as a human overvaluing it is what makes it bad.
Yeah, the hip thing in these games, long things lately
Yeah.
has been a la From Software to world build in the item descriptions. And the
Yes.
description of the money says that, you'll see if you play this game.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it's there. Like it's just literally basically like, yeah, I mean there's money. The god of money and commerce is like, I don't know, it's fucking money, man. Somebody spent it. Why are you obsessed?
Some
Like,
asshole asked him where money came from.
and he's like, no, they asked him where the first piece of money ever went.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just a fantastic line. I don't know, it was money, it was spent.
yeah. It's
Everybody else,
gone.
you're full of shit. He's like, nah, I'm pretty sure I know what I did with it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure you're the one who's obsessing over money, man. I'm not weird about it.
And Neil Gaiman and Piers Anthony and all these authors used to really nail this shit in the 90s in
Yeah.
fantasy and science fiction. They used to do these big epic things where like gods are down to earth regular guys or whatever, but like
No.
this is sort of a arched
No.
version of that, if that makes any sense.
These gods are definitely aloof in their own stupid, crappy personality ways, but that
Yeah.
makes them all the more lovable.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really fun and
so great.
surprisingly good. Again, an import product with a localization this good. The music, the art, everything on point. The combat mechanics are good. They're
It-
telling you to take this game for free.
Yeah, the best part, the reason I am not even gonna bullshit you. Like the Metal Gear Solid family of games is absolutely for the Nietzschean. If you want to see how things can go wrong, Metal Gear Solid will teach you how things can go wrong. If you want to see a positive, upbeat, dare I say, communist worldview that could be without the
Mhm.
eschewing of like creature comforts, the Chinese have fucking nailed it. And like this is far better Chinese propaganda than anything else they're doing.
I'd say
So
so.
yeah, if I will say this, Xi, do not harm this game. Like in a Greek, no, not in a Greek mythology way. Like it has a very Chinese feel to how they address these gods. And they have a very Chinese feel to how they address good and evil. They have a very like it's definitely
something else?
Chinese. It's wholly a
something
Chinese
else?
interpretation, and it's
Something
fantastic.
weirdly heartwarming is that even though their execution might be wrong, they know how good this shit is. They
I
know
don't
how
even say
good this shit is.
their
They're
execution
concerned
has
about
been
people
getting
playing
slicker
it
and
too much.
slicker. Yeah. Oh, you mean the Chinese government? Because I was gonna say Genshin itself, the
Yeah.
presentation gets slicker as you go, and you can tell. Like that's the one downside I'll say. When you're in Mondstadt itself, the original area, you definitely feel that you're still in a 1.0 of a game, no matter how hard they try. But as
Right.
you move past it, you definitely feel like, oh, they were trying something. And by the time you get to Inazuma, you're like, they perfected it along the lines they wanted to perfect it with. But yeah, the Chinese, that's the other nice thing about Genshin is it really like when they were like, when China did its crackdown on gaming, like they adapted to make sure that feedback loop could be met in an hour if you didn't want to grind all day.
Oh hell
So
yeah.
when you feel like grinding all day, Genshin has content for you for hours. When you want to just come in, do your business, get rewards, get your feedback, get the hell out, it has rewards just waiting to be handed to you to make you feel like you're accomplishing something. And I think that's the other part too. In like Western gaming, when they do the grind, you feel like I've just completed this arduous job and this reward I get like was not in the end worth it. Like they really make you feel Western alienation and exploitation. When you get it in Genshin, for the most part, you're like, damn, I put a lot of hard work into this, but I feel really good right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna use this thing that I got.
Like again,
It's just really notable that the Western debate crops up again and again. It always starts with games are bad, and then it doesn't go anywhere, and people
yeah.
continue to do whatever. But the specific debate there is, holy shit, these are really good. People are gonna do this
Well,
too much.
if you're a left winger,
I
honestly, Genshin does feel really good because even where it's serious, not like there's some shit that like we could definitely stand to see like a skeleton or a proper demon, and
Yeah.
Chinese cultural rules say you can't get that. So we're not going to get that anywhere. But do you remember when John and I, and Jank, you probably do, when we would sit for hours and endlessly debate what a commie game would look like?
Mhm.
It's Genshin. Like that's it. It
Yeah, it
would look
is.
like could you do the role playing game as a communist? Yeah, you can. What you have to do is like you can even do the MMO. Like what would the major difference be? All your material needs are met, so you literally just have money to piss away.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that would be the
Yeah.
difference. Like you just decided to piss it on this creature comfort versus that. Like
If you just got the dailies, just log in every day, and it's just like, here you go.
yeah, like they're really trying to make it so that like to use for lack of a better phrase, like the free to players can access these rewards. They have to be a little bit choosier when they access the big rewards, but that
Yeah.
they still have a crack at them. So like maybe, and to be fair, I started off free to play before I decided to put money into it. Like I'm getting my second crack at Eula coming up, but I had to miss out on Eula for Klee because my daughter wanted Klee very badly, which okay, but look, I get a second crack at it because instead of like something being a pure exclusive, like a character being a pure exclusive, nope, you're just gonna get it. You give it time. Invest in the game and you can invest. It'll invest back in you, which is like, wow, that's weird. Destiny doesn't do that shit. Every gun is LTO.
Yeah.
And every trinket is LTO. And it's just promised on, well, you better pay more money for the battle pass. You better dump real money into the battle pass. You got to dump real money into this fake currency for trinkets. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Genshin's like, no, I don't know, man. You want to spend some real bucks and speed up your character leveling? You can. If not, like, you go here, 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 and here, and here, and here. You'll get it. It just take you like 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, it doesn't punish you for it not nearly the same way. Honestly, the leveling does punish you a little bit more than anything else. Like the actual
Yeah,
in-game
really
content is more
steep
of a
at the
limiter
end.
to
Yeah.
events. Yeah, like I missed out on a lot of events over time by not being a sufficient level or story location.
Yeah.
Like that's where it punishes you. But it punishes you with content relating to the game. It doesn't punish you because of your wallet. Because your wallet wasn't going to fix that. It was your
No.
effort.
Yeah.
So, that's what's to consider. You want to see the left wing MMO? It's Genshin because both modes work seamlessly. The co-op and the purpose of the co-op is entirely so you both can grind at the same time to make your grinding less arduous. Literally, work gets better when you're with other people,
Right.
which absolutely flies in the face of like anything else.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it lets you discriminate freely against who you join with, but because like you can't talk to somebody until they're there, you can't discriminate on like, oh, I heard this person's voice, so now I'm going to be really racist to them. You
Yeah.
might never hear their voice.
Yeah.
Unless you agree to it, you're not hearing their voice. So it removes the limiter of cooperative, like what happens in co-op and especially competitive games, which handles the racism problem. You either let people in or you don't. You either want to be around other people or you don't. And there's really no limiter. There's literally no limiter to it because your communication is largely text based or not at all. You're just kind of intuiting what you're doing with the other person. You have to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
You eliminate those barriers. And if you have like communication problems, like you don't speak, English to English, if you don't speak English because you speak ASL, actually kind of doesn't fucking matter because you can both just play the game and you're communicating through your actions. You're not communicating through your words. You're not hearing voices and making prejudice calls because that problem was eliminated. Unless you want to hear the voice actively and you agree to do it, unless you consent to it because you're playing with somebody you know. And honestly, that sounds like it flies in the face of liberal inclusion, but it does fly in the face of liberal inclusion because the purpose is to make sure they eliminate negative like reactions and stereotypes.
Yeah.
Oops. Oops, they did it. So now all the white Western gamers are mad at it. Oh, I can't be racist in my video game. That's
Oh no,
terrible. Genshin
it's the con
sucks.
it's the consequences of my actions. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh no, you mean China looked at what I am and they said it's disgusting and abhorrent and we're going to figure out a way around it.
The way I've consistently behaved for 2 decades.
Yeah, the way my shitty society taught me to behave and has rewarded me for. China hates me for it, so they won't let me do it. Oh no. Woe is me, I'm so oppressed. Woe is me. I don't get to be a shitty dirtbag to other human beings through my
Fir-
fucking toy.
First Bungie is SJWs, now this.
Yeah. First Bungie. Because they let a woman into Destiny. And now the Chinese won't let me be racist. They simply took away my ability to be racist. This is fucking bullshit. This is a war on the white male gamer. But yeah, I'm not shitting you. The people who hate it, most likely white, or if not, they're that weird class of minority that really desperately wants to appease white people, like racist white people.
The Dream Whites.
Yeah, is that what they're
Dreamer
called?
Whites.
The dreamer whites. Yeah, the ones who think if I'm just racist enough against myself, they'll accept me as white. Yeah, Genshin's like, nah, how about this? You just can't be racist. All those people, it's bullshit. You just press B to win. As opposed to what, Destiny, where you move a stick and press R2. Oh wow, what deep gameplay, bro. Malinches, what's a Malinches? Explain that to me, Chad, because I think I know what it is now based on context, but I want to read it. I want to read it to the pod. Chad, don't leave me hanging on that one. That sounds like that's going to be a fun term to use later. But yeah, all the gamers who are like that 50-year-old man, that 50-year-old Latino man who was like, Trump's got to get back in office. I got to bomb Nancy Pelosi. Malinche was an interpreter. Oh, that's not as fun. Did he just... That helped the Spanish. Oh, okay, hand the funds back. It's a negative term for a race trader, and it rocks.
Always winning our books.
Yep. Well, anytime we figure out a term for a race trader. Chat, you've helped us more than you could ever know.
It's handy to have. It's very handy.
Oh man. I should. I wonder if I can somehow start calling John that. He's against the Chinese. Oh my god, there we go. I got there. I just needed a moment. Malinchismo. Did I say it right? Malinchismo? Is that it?
That's useful.
See, you know what, Jank? The low-hanging fruit was you. The low-hanging fruit was you.
I knew it all along.
And I specifically avoided it to attack John. You have tormented. You have tormented poor John. Is what you have done. Nothing better than back pain and finding out a new term for race trader. It makes the back pain so much more tolerable. Oh shit! Thank you, Chad. I needed that. You're wonderful. Best kind of people. Real salt of the earth leftists. I love it. Love it. But yeah, all right. That's the show for tonight. I love you guys. Don't die.
Bye, America.
Bye, America. We love you. I'm gonna keep playing Genshin a little bit. Then I gotta clean up my magic cards, my other toys.
Good night, everyone.
Love you. Always great. And yeah, you know what? One last thing, real quickly. You will find I test out arguments before I present them live. So that's the Discord chat is me stress testing it against people who I think are being honest. Although if we get invaded, oh my god, if we get invaded by libs, that would be amazing. Give me some libs to bite into, like a dickhead
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, that would be fine. Whatever. It's the Biden times. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck him. I'll happily I tussled with a lib over fucking Bush v. Gore. All right, peace out, chat. Love you. See you in Discord chat if you show up. When you show up, you will. You're a good crowd.